Hey everyone, it's been a little while since I've done a little tutorial video in Pixlr, but here we're back and I want to show you how to do this example here. It's a hipster skateboard longboard image that I found online. I'm not taking credit for taking this photo. It is downloaded and all I want to share is how to take away color of part of this image and only reveal certain areas using masks in Pixlr. And here's the effect that you get. So there's full color, just limited color. So it can really emphasize color in your photography. So here we're talking about photography in class, the category color, and this is a cool way to add color to your photos. Now if you hear this annoying buzzing sound, I call it the R2-D2. We got a 3D printer in the class so you can hear it in the background. Currently I am printing keychains, and these are some examples here. You can see got a little Mario star. So having fun with that in class too. So if that bugs you, try and mute it out. It's only going to last a few more minutes. Okay, back into our assignment. So if you're in class with me, you can follow these steps. If you're doing this from another location, you're following, great, awesome, give me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you, and you can apply this to any image you choose. I'd highly suggest using your own photos. The one I took here is not my own, but I do like the perspective, looking down on the skateboard. It's got motion. So I chose to do a demo. And so let's get started. We have a Google Classroom here where the before image is there and the after. Or sorry, opposite. After, this is what it looks like after, this is what it looks like before. In order to download this image from our Google Classroom, you right-click, open it in a new tab, click on the new tab, and then you can download that image. So I'm going to do that, download it. It's going to give me a preview. Great, I downloaded the full color version. I'm going to hit the X to get rid of that preview. And right after that, I'm going to navigate my way over to Pixlr. If you're using a Chromebook, you can go to the launcher, find Pixlr as a Chrome app on your device. If you're on a browser like I am, just open a new tab and type in Pixlr, Pixlr. It'll take you to Pixlr. I've been using Pixlr Editor to launch the web app, and it takes you to this window here. I would open image from computer and navigate your way to your downloads and find the image you just downloaded. Open. So I've got this here. Now if you're using a Chromebook, I would suggest to check your image size. Image size. Right now it's reading 1920 by 1280. You can reduce the size. In fact, I would recommend that. And make sure to keep the constrained proportions check mark on. So if it's 1920, I could reduce it to 1500. And if your image comes in at 4,000 pixels or 5,000 or anything fairly large, I would reduce it down no bigger than 2,000 pixels in width. I just find it's been crashing and it's just harder to manage. Maybe if you're using a better internet connection at home, it might work, but in the school, we've been having issues there. So I reduced the size of the image, click OK. You can zoom in doing Control plus, zoom out, Control minus. And at this point, I'm going to just drag the layers panel over, just because most of the work that I'm going to be demonstrating is done in the layers panel. So first thing I'll do is right click, duplicate the layer. And that's easy. There's another way. If you click and drag that layer onto the new layer icon, it will also make duplicate copies. So that's often what I do just to save on time. I'm going to delete that one because I don't need 3. Name the bottom one black and white. The top one, let's name it color. And I'm just double clicking to edit the name of the layer. Select this layer, the black and white one we just created or named, and go over to adjustments, hue and saturation. So adjustments, hue and saturation, and click on that. Here, the middle slider, you're gonna drag it all the way to the left so it reads -100. Okay. Click OK. Nothing will happen at this moment. Although, if you notice here, our little thumbnail in black and white is black and white. The top one is color. That's exactly what we want. To check, just click this check mark. You can see in the background, turning the color on and off. So this is essential. And make sure that your color layer is above the black and white layer. That's also essential. I'm going to zoom out. Click on the color layer and then select and click add layer mask. Now this image will turn black and white like it just did. I clicked on add layer mask. I'm going to zoom out. And now notice that I've got an added little box, a little thumbnail. And that's my layer mask right here. So I'm going to use the brush now to reveal the color in this image. We use a brush and I can start clicking and dragging, and wherever I click and drag, it's going to reveal that skateboard or the feet or the jeans. So it's a quick way to bring in color. Now here's another trick I've shown in the past. If you go to your brush settings, you can use a feathered brush, fairly large, increase the diameter. And if I want to do this quick, without too much detail, I can mask out this area, and because it's very feathered, I can just quickly bring in the color in that area. So if I want to get rid of some of this color, let's say there's too much of the jeans showing, I can use my eraser, and again I could enlarge the diameter of my brush, and I can use the eraser to get rid of areas, even into the shoe here. So I can, and then if I want to bring the color back, and go back to my brush, and I can bring it back. So it's very easy to use. You can edit things quickly. If I really want to get into details, I can reduce my brush size, and I'll zoom in, hold the space bar to pan, click, hold shift and click. Now I'm using the eraser and I'm holding shift at the same time as I'm clicking here, and I'm getting rid of the color in the shoe. I can click and drag, that also works, but what I like to do is I hold shift and click, and it'll follow the edge of that shoe as I click and go back and forth here. So what that's doing, if I do a demo here, if I click in the middle of the shoe, hold shift and click in the middle here, it'll make a straight line from that point to this point, just like so. So then I just keep holding shift, and it'll follow where the path where you started, so you can make straight lines and keep going. Obviously, you can spend many hours or you can spend a few minutes doing this process, But this is how you would get these effects that you see in Google Images, let's say like this Sharpie image. Very well done. So use your creativity. Nature lends itself well to this. I've got an image of a flower here. These are just Google images. This is very nice too with the violin. So you can be creative. You can add all these effects just using Pixlr and the techniques that I've shown you. Very final step is don't forget to save. File, save. If you want to return to edit this with your layers, make sure to save it as a PXD file. And make sure to name your file too. So this is going to be called, let's call this one black and white with color. And if I want to return to work on it at a later date, I can save it as a PXD. Be patient. The bigger the image is, the longer it takes to render. Click OK. If your image was complete, I would suggest to save it as a PNG, or if you've got transparencies in the image, save it as a PNG. And those of you who are in my class, please submit your work to the latest Google Classroom post that I showed earlier in this video. And enjoy. I hope you apply this to many images and wow a lot of your friends and family. Okay, take care. We'll see you later.